Hello again, I am back with another review, and today I would like to talk about the Steam Link and the Steam controller. A while back I had toyed around with the in-home streaming and used my old gaming PC as the client, but it never felt quite right. No matter what network setup I tried, I couldn't get the input latency below 20 milliseconds, and the picture was never quite that clear. So my hopes of playing my Steam library from the living room without having to go through the trouble of setting up my gaming PC each time seemed not likely to happen. Granted, my gaming PC is a laptop, but disconnecting all the cables from it, finding a spot on limited shelf space, and connecting all the cables and dongles detracts from the experience. So when Steam Link was announced, I was ecstatic. But was it too good to be true? Quick look at the reviews, and you get the impression that your results may vary. So let's start with the setup. It's simple. You just connect the power cable and the HDMI cable, and plug in the USB dongle for the Steam controller if you have one. If not, you can use your Xbox controller using the wireless dongle that's provided by Microsoft connected to your host computer. Couldn't get it to work through this, but it's not a big issue. And then you turn it on. A menu will ask you what language you prefer, and then you select a host computer. After selecting the host computer, a 4-digit PIN number will display on the host screen, which must be entered into the Steam Link. Then you're done. But let's back up and talk about my network topology for a bit. I've been having some trouble out of the router that is provided by Verizon, specifically the wireless aspect of it. I'm aware that the NIC on the Steam Link is only at a speed of 100 megabits per second, but I didn't want to buy a switch that'll be tossed in a few years. So I ordered a gigabit switch made by TP-Link. Both the gaming laptop and the Steam Link are connected to the switch, which is then connected to my router. That was an effort in itself since I had to run Cat6 cable through the walls. But maybe the gigabit switch and the Cat6 cabling was overkill, but I wanted the best experience I could get from the Steam Link. So how well does it work? Pretty damn well. Games are running at 1080p with 60 frames per second and no input lag that I can experience anyways. But I'm dead serious about the input lag. It cannot be more than 1 or 2 milliseconds. I've finished Axiom Verge with 100% map completion, and if you've played Axiom Verge, you understand how difficult it is to maneuver yourself into all squares of the map. Another game I've finished solely on the Steam Link was Evoland. The final boss had me dropping a few F-bombs due to the difficulty, but I was able to kill him off. I don't recommend that game, by the way. The novelty wears off after about the first 30 minutes. The game can be completed in under 3 hours. Not worth $10, so if you can get it for $2, maybe. But all in all, I have more than 40 hours of time spent on the Steam Link, and it's fucking awesome for couch co-op games. The wife and I have spent many hours in Broforce, Rampage Nights, Lego games, games like that have really fun couch co-op. And before anyone pipes in and says, oh, but those games aren't very resource intensive, of course you get 60 frames per second. Well, I'll have you know that Grand Theft Auto 5 runs great on high settings through the Steam Link, so I have no complaints about it. There were some hiccups in the first few hours though, but some quick Googling resolved those issues. One was it was doing some black flickering, so it was dropping some frames. This would make it unplayable. But it seems that if you disable hardware encoding on the host computer and hardware decoding on this, it fixes that issue. I was kind of worried about performance impact by disabling hardware encoding and decoding, but I've not noticed any. One issue that still remains is that some games don't play nice in big picture mode, but they're far and few between. Some of these games, you'll be required to go to the host computer and alt-tab to them and close them, as they won't exit properly from the couch. So it's a bit of it's a bit of an inconvenience rather. It's not that bad of a thing actually. But given the performance, the size, and the cost of the Steam Link, I can highly recommend it to anyone that already has a good gaming computer. I know for sure that I'll be spending an unhealthy amount of time with my ass on the couch now, thanks to this thing. Now let's talk about the Steam controller. First, the setup. It's pretty simple. Insert the dongle into the Steam Link and you're pretty much done. There is a menu for adding additional Steam controllers, but I can't remember if I had to go to it for the first controller or not. I don't think I did, but I may have. However, if there are firmware updates for the controller, it sucks. You can't do it through the Steam Link. You have to bring it to the host computer, connect it with a USB cable. And then not only that, you have to be opted into the Steam client beta before the update will happen. Otherwise, it won't do anything, and you'll disconnect the controller, take it back to the Steam Link, connect it, and you'll get the pop-up again. And it's an endless cycle. I did that for 10 times until I finally figured it out. And I couldn't find a response on any of the forums, but just some tinkering, and I eventually got it. But there are still some issues with games not working very well with the controller. But for the most part, there'll be a community button mapping available that gets controls where they need to be. And if not, creating a mapping isn't too difficult yourself. And for games that were designed with controllers in mind, they work flawlessly. This includes first-person shooters. I grew up gaming on a PC using a mouse and keyboard, so I've never been very apt at using a controller for these type of games. The touchpads have haptic feedback and are versatile in the roles that they can play. For example, the right pad can act as a trackball. When in trackball mode, the haptic feedback is very convincing that it is a trackball. It's hard to explain, but the clicking sounds it makes are oddly satisfying. When you fling it, you can hear it clicking fast, and the clicks slow down as if there is a trackball slowing down. And in addition to the clicking, it makes a vibrating sensation. It's pretty strange, but it's pretty cool at the same time. The controller supports the joystick buttons when you push in on the left controller, or the left joystick rather, and on the right thumb pad it has a button. There are also 2 buttons on the back, which are actually part of the battery cover, which is kind of unique. But this lets you have extra. You can use the triggers, you can use these buttons without taking your thumbs off of these, which is very handy if you want to interact with objects in the game world without obviously taking your thumbs off of these. So the controller is a go for me. It's difficult to do a review on a controller, as physically touching it to get a feel for its comfort and function is important. But I can say that using an Xbox controller just felt weird after making the switch. I have an Xbox controller here for a size comparison. The Steam Link is a little bit larger. These things aren't as pointed, but they fit in your palms nicely, and they have buttons on the back. I have no complaints about it. So that's it for this review of the Steam Link and Steam Controller. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. If you'd like to see more of my reviews and whatever else I get into the future, also consider clicking that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.